Hello, it is me again, Fredrex2007 here, back again with another movie review. So, probably reviewing almost every horror movie ever made, but if that ever happens. So, anyways, let's just get on with it. Today's movie review I'm going to be showing to you guys, it is House of the Witch, which is one of those horror movies that no one talks about actually, which I'm surprised. This movie was directed by Alex Merkin, I believe, and produced by Brian Saxton, which I do not know much about these directors and producers, but I am new to one of these movies that they're making, so whatever. And the movie was released in one premiere in one theaters, which it was never released theatrically. It was like a low budget made horror film. And it was released in 2017, which I thought was interesting because not much there's a lot of good movies in that year, but you know, it's just probably not one of them. I'm not sure about that. But, okay, the reason why no one talks about this movie very much, because people said it might be a waste of time, they hated it, critics didn't give a crap about this movie, House of the Witch. So, let me get this straight to you guys. So the film location around this movie was filmed around Lexington, Kentucky, the round state of Kentucky, which is the state I live. And it's very surprising, and I never seen a horror movie that was filmed around my location before. But this is a really big surprise for me, which I'm very, very, very pleased about. And let me tell you about something. Is the movie good or bad? Is it awful? Let's get into that. So the movie begins. So the movie is about these group of kids, like 6 or 7 teenagers, that goes inside this haunted house. So what I think about this movie, it's one of these kind of horror haunted house type of scary movies that you're in a haunted house and you get trapped inside until then the characters have to find their way out. And that's like the plot around in one of these horror films nowadays. Like, there is a few paranormal haunted houses around, haunted house horror movies around the 2010s. Because that's what horror cares about nowadays, just paranormal activity type of movies. But this is way different, because this movie focuses on the witch. This movie takes on to these characters trying to find their way out in this haunted house, and the house is being cursed by a witch. So the witch is literally making the house into a maze that makes the characters really hard and stressful for them to get out. And that's pretty creepy and terrifying. Like, it is terrifying that you're in a haunted house and you're trying to get through to that situation, but, you know, something's trying to just playing tricks on you. Like, the house is a maze. That's what they say. So it does focus on these kids. One of these main characters, named Man, he skips a night shift around Halloween night that he has to go with his friends to go exploring into this haunted house. And one of his friends, Lloyd, he wants to put up an idea to put out pranks and traps all over the house to prank and scare their friends. And that was the main plan that they're going to. But it didn't go so well until then the kids find their way inside the house, and quickly they get locked inside. The witch locked them and boarded all over the house. And the other thing, Lloyd just went missing. So this is one of the things about this movie, that every year a kid disappears all over town. It's all because of this house. So they have to look. So it's up to them to look for Lloyd and try to find a way to get out of the house, or else the witch will get them. So if you want to know about the backstory of the witch character, the witch's name Annabelle Foster, and she's been to blame from a lot of witchcraft problems that she's been through throughout the past centuries. And they end up drowning her in a lake, and that's how she died, and the lake is right beside the haunted house, the house where she lives in. And she just became a spirit to make a curse around the house, and she is stuck inside the house. So the thing is, she wants to use the teenagers so she can get out of the house when she's back to her life self again. So the plot and the story is decent as all hell. It's nothing much special. So in the main characters, the actresses that plays as the kids in this movie, they're not too bad. they look pretty talented. Some of the dialogue is pretty meh, very stale, but the rest of the dialogue they do, like some of the quotes they do, is pretty memorable. Not too much, and when they freak out, when they get scared, like, it feels like you're with them, and they're freaking out because they're trapped inside this haunted house, and they're trying to get through to that problem. So, one of these kids named Lex, I forgot I keep forgetting what their names are, but one of these kid characters, so he freaks out, one of them gets infected by a scratch on his shoulder, and he's literally getting grotesque on his face, which is pretty creepy. And when he freaks out, he puts up a Scooby-Doo reference when he's scared. Because when he said, "This is nothing like Scooby-Doo, this is real life, this is a haunted house," like, I was like, why you have to put up that reference for? Like, you're in a serious, scary situation, and do you seriously have to put up a Scooby-Doo reference? Like, really? Like, why? Like, why? It's just one of those things that bugs me in this movie. So, when they look around the house, they have to split up and try to look for Lloyd, and he just went missing, because he was the first kid that went into the house because he wanted to set up all of the pranks and traps around the house, but until then, the witch got him. And let me tell you next about the movie. The practical effects. The practical effects is pretty much onto the witch character, on the actress that plays as the witch ghost character. And it's mostly CGI when she teleports into green smoke all over the place. And that's basically it. And some of the deaths into the teenagers, I don't want to spoil so much about the deaths, but they are creative and creepy. Some of the practical effects on the deaths do look pretty cool. Because I do love me some practical effects in movies, if you know me, because CGI is pretty bad most of the time, but sometimes it gets okay-ish. So when it gets to this twist ending, it's just shocking. Very shocking. And pretty much this is the reason why a lot of people think that this movie is a waste of time. To me, it isn't much a waste of time, because you have to be hooked up to the movie if you really are interested. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers about the twist ending, just skip it. Or get off the video. Or if you've seen it, just listen to it. Listen to this. Because the twist ending focuses on one of these surviving characters, which is one of these female characters that knows everything about the house, and she has to be the only one that has to get out alive. She's like the only one alive that only gets out of the house alive until like all of the rest of her friends are already dead. So it just tells that she was actually tripping in the lake like an idiot, and she ends up drowning with the witch drowning her. Which, the witch does teleportations and crap like that, because, ghosts do that. Until then, the cops all over the town has to be looking for these kids, because they might be making trouble around the town. Until then, they went to the haunted house, and it just ended with this twist ending that kind of doesn't make any sense, because since the witch killed all the teenagers, she went back into her alive self, her young, alive person self, and she had to disguise as one of the survivors, and she has to make it out of there. And the movie does focus on Annabelle Foster's backstory, and the kids are literally finding out that the witch is actually using them so she's trapped in a house, and she has to get out by using the teenagers, like killing them and just take their lives away. Just take their souls away. So she can just come back to normal, into her life self again. And that's how the twist happened. All the kids died, and the witch left out of the house, and we just don't know what she's gonna do. It just left with that side. The movie just left on this cliffhanger note that you just don't know what she's gonna do next. And it does felt like a waste of time. It felt like the ending wasn't worth it. But it was shocking, but you just don't know what's going to happen next after that. And it was shocking, though, that it is challenging of which one of these characters are supposed to be, like, the last ones who's going to make it out alive type of thing in one of these horror films. So anyways, House of the Witch, it's a decent, well, is it bad? It's not terrible, I'm gonna have to say. It's okay. Not bad, not great. It's just okay. House of the Witch 2017. if you really want to see something really new and interesting, you should check it out if you are interested. But if you don't want to see something that is a waste of your time, just skip it, okay? If you think if you think it's a waste of time after you see it, like, don't see it, okay? Skip it. But the movie was okay for me. Since I've seen it, it was okay. I just see it as an okay horror film, like one of those haunted house type of horror films. So anyways, I give House of the Witch around a 6 out of 10, above average type of horror film. So if you want to see it, go. If you really want to see it and if you're interested, see it. Just if you think it's a waste of time, don't see it. Just don't be like those people on the internet saying, "Don't see this movie, it's a waste of time." Just don't see it. Alright, before this video ends, I would like to say thank you for around 200 subscribers. I am glad that my channel is growing, and I haven't been uploading for the past 2 months, which I apologize. I will make more content, and I will pretty much do horror-related stuff in this channel, if you are interested in seeing any of it, because I would like to put out my own honest opinions about horror. And besides that, with kaiju, Godzilla-related stuff, because I'm a huge Godzilla geek. So, yeah, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this review, like this video, comment this video, and be sure to subscribe for more content like this coming out really soon. So, hope you all have a great quarantine or social distance or whatever you're doing. Yeah, we'll get through this in 2020. So, have a good one and take care.